Hello, everybody, and welcome to Get Better. So get better. How to begin this? Why? Right? Why get better? Because getting better feels great. It's good to get better at things. There are a lot of things that we want to be able to do that we can't do yet. How do we do those things? We get better. That's what it's all about, right? It's a human being thing. We all enjoy it. Progressing in things, improving, whether it be at work or in life. Maybe you pick up a musical instrument. Getting better has been documented, right, as this thing that people like to do. And I like to do, but a lot of times, it's really hard. You're like, I have this goal, I'm gonna do this thing, I'm gonna stick to it, and then like a couple weeks later, you're totally off it. Maybe like you're trying to change your diet around or your sleep, or maybe you're just, trying to pick up a new game. Maybe you're like, man, I wanna be really good at Overwatch. Everyone's playing that, like my friends are playing, but I'm really bad, I wanna get good. And you're like, all right, cool. And then for like a couple weeks, you practice really hard, but then you sort of fall off. So I've had that experience myself. I imagine you also have probably had a similar experience yourself. And one of the tricks that can be used to improve this type of thing is social support or social pressure. And that's kind of what this show thing that we're doing here is about, right? It's about us coming together to get better at things that we want to get better at. So I might be working on a particular thing to get better at. You might be working on a different thing. We don't have to have the same goals, but we can all sort of come together in the community of or idea of all of us trying to improve at things in general and sharing research, right? Because how to learn one thing can help you learn how to learn another thing. A lot of my music training helped me to create learning methods for StarCraft that were different and helped people along. So that's sort of the thing that ties us together, right? It's this idea that you want to get better at something. So if you want to get better at something and you're having trouble, this is the place to be. Now on to the tricky part. How do we get better? Let's read a quote. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, therefore, is not an act, but a habit. And so if we want to improve at things, if we want to get better, because the getting better gets us closer to what we call excellence or mastery or, other synonyms as well. I might need to get better at making up words that are synonymous with others. Maybe that's something I'm going to work on. The point is that we need to establish habits, and we need to establish habits in the most powerful way that we can. We need to be consistent. We need to do research on habits. We need to figure out how they work and how to get them going. One thing that I've learned is that 3 weeks is a big marker for improvement for solidifying a habit. I think 1 year is that other really big solidifying moment. Another tip is 20 hours, the 20-hour rule. If you focus on something and deliberately train something for 20 hours, it'll commit itself to your mind. It'll be there for a while. When I was learning how to play the drums, that rule actually came up quite a bit. They would tell me, my various drum instructors, they would tell me the same thing. If you want to learn a groove, a beat, right? Some kind of a beat, if you want that to be perfect and in your blood, they used to tell me, you got to do 20 hours. You just repeatedly do that beat over and over and over again, perfectly, slowly at first, and then increase the speed. And once you've done 20 hours of it, you're never going to lose that beat. You'll be able to pull that beat out, a year from now, 2 years from now. It's just going to happen. It's just going to be natural, right? So take these kind of things, put them together. This is the first idea that I've had for the show. We're going to go with it. And if it doesn't work, we're going to change it, which is a super important thing about improving, right? You need to be able to be super open to change. We can try things. If it don't work, we throw them away. We're not going to be attached to our ideas. They're not going to be a part of our bodies. They're going to be things that we carry around with us in a backpack, maybe, or a passenger, a messenger bag. Passenger bag, that's not a thing. Whatever style of thing. Maybe you just carry it around in a bucket. Maybe you're a bucket kind of person. Maybe you pull a wagon around with you. I don't know. Whatever it is, take your ideas with you, but don't make them a part of your body. And it'll hurt less when you have to get rid of them, because if you make them a part of your body, it's like, I gotta rip it out. I gotta deal with all this bias and ego. It's really a painful process. But if you're chill, if you just relax and you say, okay, I'm not aligning myself with any particular point of view, particular piece of information. I'm here looking for the truth. I'm here trying to figure out what thing is true, and I'm going to go with that until I find new information that tells me, oh, well, that's mostly true, but here's this caveat. Or we found out that we're completely wrong. We thought that was the thing, but it's not the thing anymore. And just being okay with that, just accepting that new information comes to us all the time, new research is being done all the time. And instead of resisting that, like, oh God, new things, just saying, oh, okay, this is peer-reviewed, scholarly article. It's an experiment. We can look at the experiment and see how accurate it is. Does it have a control group? Basic experiment things, right? And sort of evaluate different pieces of information and experiments and research and come together and say, okay, you know what? We're going to shift our view on this a little bit because the evidence supporting this is much stronger than the evidence against it. And that's it. That's all it is. All we care about here at Get Better is the truth. We're trying to get to the truth. And so if you can embrace that, that's going to help you a lot in your journey of getting better. And so this is the first iteration of the idea, right, of the show. We're going to do 1 week where we start with something that we're going to build, a habit that we're going to build. During week 2, we're going to keep doing week 1, right? We're going to keep the week 1 around. But during week 2, we're going to add a second layer, right? That's going to go along on the side of it. And then during week 3, we're going to add a third thing. But by the time we get to week 3, we'll have been doing the week 1 thing, right? In this case, it's going to be sleep. We've been sleeping for 3 weeks, and we've established this habit, and we've hit this magic zone. So maybe we don't have to spend so much willpower on it. Maybe we don't have to spend so much attention to it. We just sort of say, okay, we're just going to maintain that and make sure we keep it going. But at this point, we freed up enough willpower, enough cognitive resources to start adding on another habit to our list. And we're just going to keep stacking them up, and eventually we'll be perfect human beings. No, we won't. You'll never be a perfect human being. But it's really fun to try to get there. So we're going to try to do that. And this is primarily gonna be in the idea of, all right, this week we're working on sleep. That's what I'm going to work on, right? That's the most important thing to me. We're going to talk about why in a little bit. The second week, I'm going to work on my morning routine. The third week, I'm going to work on hydration. That's as far ahead as I've thought. And while we're going through each of these things, what I'd really like to see, and I don't think it's going to happen for a little while, but who knows, surprise me, maybe it will, is people sharing research with each other. It's like, okay, next week, we're going to talk about having a morning routine, the benefits and, maybe disadvantages of a morning routine, what you can use it for, what it's valuable for, and start shaping each of our individual morning routines to suit the goals that we have. Something like taking your vitamins, right? So you have more balanced nutrition in your life. That's probably a pretty good thing to do. It's not as good as having a perfect diet that perfectly gets you perfectly everything that you perfectly need, but it's hard to be perfect, as we all know. That's why we're here. So vitamins can help that. But I don't want to dedicate like a whole week to making sure I take my vitamins every day. I'd rather make it part of a collection. And so with a morning routine idea is like, okay, we're gonna collect a whole bunch of habits, little tiny habits that we wanna do, and just get them out of the way in the morning. And once we start doing that, the cool thing is you can start adding things to the morning routine. And once you're already in the groove of doing the morning routine, it's really, really easy to just keep going, just to add another thing. And it helps me at least be productive, and it's been shown to help people be productive in general. So cool. But what I'd like to see in the comment section for this video is research on a morning routine. Who does it? Who doesn't do it? What's useful to put in there? What useful kind of things are you thinking about putting in your morning routine, if that's one of the things you want to work on? And then next week, I'll be reading the comments all week for this video. And then next week, we'll go over the comments. Maybe you guys can link some research and say, it says the morning routine is quite good to do, and here's why. And we're like, oh, okay, that's very neat. Maybe there's nothing. Maybe it's just sort of like, no one cares about this stuff, Jack. You are a crazy human. And I will say, yes, I am, but we're all trying to be perfect, so let's keep doing that. And then hydration, right? Next week, we'll talk about we'll attempt to, in next week's comment section, will be hydration stuff. It'll be research about hydration. What do you know? We'll do a vlog every week, and we'll do a tweet every day. So I will do every day, and if you're feeling it, you can join me. Maybe like hashtag get better or something. That would be cool. Every day I'm gonna post, like, for example, the first week of sleep. So I'm gonna post when I fell asleep and when I woke up and the hours. And from what I understand about sleep, because we're gonna try and do this as scientifically as possible. Well, from what I've learned about sleep, it's good to have a consistent sleep schedule if you can, and it's good to sleep a number of hours that is divisible by your natural sleep cycle rhythm, right? So everyone has their own. It's a pretty easy thing to test if you can go to bed early. So the way to test what your particular sleep cycle, is, and they're going to average around 90 minutes. Go to sleep. Mark when you go to sleep. Write down the time as close as possible to when you actually fall asleep. And then write the time when you wake up. Don't set an alarm, right? You have to be in a position where you can sleep enough so you don't set an alarm. And if you wake up, cool. If you wake up because something else happens, like there's a large noise or, the ceiling collapses, maybe don't count that as good data, right? But then do that for a little while, and then you should have a whole bunch of different numbers that are like, I slept 7.5 hours, I slept 6 hours, I slept 9 hours, and try to find a common denominator. For me, it just worked out super easy. It was 90 minutes right in the dot. I did it for about a week, maybe a week and a half, and it was very consistently, if I was naturally waking up, it would be in some interval of 90 minutes. And we all have this, right? It can go as low as, I think, an hour, high as 2 hours, something like that, depending on the person. So maybe you want to do that, check that out. I did that. My sleep is 90-minute cycles, and my goal is 7.5 hours of sleep consistently. And I'm going to go to sleep at midnight, and I'm going to wake up at 7:30 a.m. That's the plan. That's the plan. And so I'll tweet daily. Something very, very boring, but something that maybe will help me stay accountable. When it's 11:30 and there's one more episode of Stranger Things to watch, and I know that if I watch it, it'll put me past 12 o'clock, these types of things. It'll help me, I think, to be like, no, I'm going to tweet out that I was weak and I failed and I watched Stranger Things instead of taking care of my health. Because I can watch Stranger Things the next day. It's a great show, but I can watch it next day. It's not really a problem. Like, once you fall asleep and you wake up, you don't really remember anything like that. The time just goes by. So if I can convince myself to be like, okay, well, I'll just watch that tomorrow. Watch that episode tomorrow. Cool. That's nice. And there's going to be struggles, right? Sleep is something that a lot of people have trouble with. But the reason why I selected it as my first thing, and you make your own decision about what the first thing you're going to do is, I'm kind of approaching this from like a prerequisite kind of a deal. Like, if I'm sleeping consistently, it makes it easier to improve at pretty much everything, because I'm going to have more energy and my body's going to be working better. If I get good sleep, that means the things that I learned during the day are going to cement themselves in my mind a little bit stronger. My muscles are going to recover from any sort of physical discipline that I'm working on. I'm trying to get better, strength and flexibility, things like that. And so for me, sleep is like at the top of the pyramid. Like, you don't get anywhere without any sleep. You literally die without sleep. You won't die without StarCraft 2, but you will die without sleep. And so I kind of want to take care of those things, right, first. And that way, the idea is everything else will be easier that I try to work on. So sleep, getting a consistent sleep schedule, getting into a morning routine, and then hydration are my top three. That's what I'm starting with. You really don't have to worry about what your top three are. Maybe you just need to do your first one. What's something that you want to be better at? Maybe you are really great at sleeping, but you just don't exercise at all. Maybe this is what you do. Maybe you say, all right, you know what? I'm gonna do as many push-ups as I can do every day. just one set of push-ups. Is that the best possible thing for you to do to become stronger? No. But the point is, you're establishing a habit to become stronger, to do physical exercise and stimulate that part of your body. And that'll actually stimulate your mind as well, because it's all connected. Turns out your mind's part of your body. And if your body's healthy, your mind is healthy too. These are all the kind of things that we're thinking about. So this week, I'm going to try to sleep. Oddly enough, hopefully it'll work out. And then if that works out well, then next week we'll do the morning routine. I'll be tweeting every single day, one time, to say, here's my progress. I went to bed at this time, woke up at this time, hashtag get better, something like that. It feels really weird and markety to be like, hashtag get better, but it's the way that Twitter works. And so I figure, why fight it? Why not just sort of embrace this method of communication and use it for something that's good, helping people get better. I hope that's the goal. In the absolute least, I'm going to get better. But my real goal and my real hope with this project is that by following the show and applying things and talking about things together, having different point of views, being able to disagree with each other and presenting evidence and arguments and all that stuff, maybe we can all get better, right? That's the goal. So good luck, have fun. Please leave in the comments what you're going to be working on this week and maybe some research about something that you want to work on next week or what I'm working on, right? Maybe you can help me out. We can work together, think about things that you might want to put in a morning routine that would make your life better in some way, make your health better in some way, or make you better in some way. So good luck. Have fun, get better.
I wish I could swim like dolphins can swim, though nothing will keep us together. We can beat them forever and ever. How we can be heroes just for one day. How we can be heroes just for one day. I will be king, and you will be queen. Though nothing will drive us away, how we can be heroes just for one day. How we can be us just for one day. Standing by the wall, and the guns shout above our heads, and we kiss as though nothing could fall. day.